Hello, I'm Pastor Micheal Kelly, and I'd like to take just a few moments to talk to you, the pastor. I got a very special message for you today, simply entitled, The Blessing of Blame. My entire life has been about ministry. At my birth, I was born the son of an evangelist. That evangelist would then go on to become a pastor. And I would spend my entire life as the pastor's son, the preacher's kid. And I think we all would agree that being the pastor's kid has its share of celebrations and miseries. The sad truth is that a lot of the time I became the blame for the misery of others. I was rather scrawny back in my youth, which is why I really don't mind being as large as I am today. It's nice to have an extra little weight to throw around when the time is needed. And the Bible says a good wife is supposed to add to her husband, so I have the greatest wife in all the earth. But being as small as I was back then, as well as being the pastor's son, and, might I also add, the principal's son, because we had a Christian school from the age grade of 5th to 11th grade, that led to a lot of times of isolation and bullying. For those whose lives were not quite what they wanted, I became an easy target for their unresolved issues. A punch here, a jab there, and then there were the verbal punches and jabs as well. For those here which may know of what I speak, it would certainly be the preacher's kids in the room. As much as these times hurt, I've come to realize that these times helped me to develop some much needed skills to step into full-time ministry shortly after turning 18 years of age. So now, I have nearly 30 years of full-time pastoral experience in ministry under my belt. And in that time, I've learned some stuff, a lot of things. I don't have time today to discuss all the wonderful things I've learned, so I want to focus on the one thing that has been with me from the very beginning: blame. I have learned that blame is a major part of what we receive in ministry. When I transitioned from the role of student pastor to lead pastor, it didn't really mean I changed what I'm doing so much. It just means that now you can receive the blame. Truth be told, in my experience, there are very few celebrations in the role of a lead pastor. When the church is doing great, we stand on the platform of the stage and we congratulate the church body. We celebrate that everybody else is doing such a great job. The student pastor, he's amazing. The worship pastor, she's amazing. The event director, phenomenal. The dream team is phenomenal. This is what we say, and we should say. But we can't ever really say it's also because I, as a lead pastor, am absolutely amazing. It may be true, but you just can't say it. Well, perhaps you should at least say it in the mirror to yourself. Instead, what tends to happen is, as long as things are going well, everyone else is doing an amazing job. But when it's not going as well as we'd like, the lead pastor gets the blame. The reasons for blame can be so minor. Most people just want to think that perhaps it wasn't their fault for the decisions they've made. So there must be a reason or another person to blame. My wife, Annette, and I, we play this game. I didn't say it was your fault, but I'm going to blame you. So when the student pastor's not doing a great job, the lead pastor will get the blame. When the worship pastor is struggling, the lead pastor will get the blame. When a family becomes disgruntled with the church because little Timmy didn't get the lead role in the children's Christmas play, the lead pastor will ultimately get the blame. My dad has a statement for moments like this. It can kind of help us understand the people who blame and their mindset. The statement is this: the issue is never the issue. It's a very true statement and applies to almost 99% of the time. So, to you, pastor, lead pastor, senior pastor, welcome to the blessing of blame. This journey is an interesting one, to say the least. So when the blame comes, and it will, I want you to receive it and then put it where it belongs. Give it some space in an imaginary trophy case. Make room for it. Put some lights all around it. Pretend it's the size of a Super Bowl trophy. This idea may sound horrible right now, but trust me when I say the celebrations are few and far between. So when we understand what the blame is, we can receive it as a blessing. Remember the statement, the issue is never the issue. When the blame comes, recognize it for what it truly is. Hell is blaming you for every soul it has lost and will lose in the city that you pastor. The imps of dysfunctional marriage and divorce are blaming you for the marriages that you have helped to save and the families you have helped to heal. The demons of addictions are blaming you, screaming at you because of the people you have helped set free. The demonic forces of sickness and disease are blaming you for the lives they have lost because you prayed in that name above all names and healing flowed into those bodies. The voices that lie and mislead the people, they scream blame at you because you have preached the truth that sets people free. The deceiver himself goes before the throne daily to blame you for something, for anything, for whatever he can invent, lie about, or perhaps even the truth. Because remember, the issue is never the issue. Never forget, there are people in your life who will stand beside you and behind you through all the moments in your role as a pastor. They will help you celebrate, even when it may look like there's nothing to celebrate but the struggle itself. Inevitably, struggle leads to victories, and victories lead to more struggles, and which lead to more victories. This basically means we are emptying hell to fill heaven. So, Pastor, take the blame for that, and welcome to the blessing of blame.